Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I know I'm kind of throwing you guys off on when I'm recording and when I'm posting. My last two videos weren't the greatest. I wasn't getting my face right, so it was frustrating me to record a decent video with a good, put on face. So I'm just gonna do a quick tutorial. In my tutorial, I'm gonna show you a couple of things that I just purchased at Sephora the other night. And yeah, and then the next video I'm going to post up right after is going to be my Ipsy reveal for the month of January. So first off, always have a clean face, exfoliate, moisturize, get a good cleansing. Try to do it at least once a day if you can't do twice. It really helps with your skin. Right now my skin is definitely very red, so I will show you how to cover that once we get through the tutorial. So first things first, you want to apply a primer. So this is the e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. Has a bit of a scent, but you just get a little on and get it all in there. Put my hair back in the midst of it. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to prime your eyelids. Now, you can get an expensive eyelid primer. You can get the cheap one. I use e.l.f. A sheer eyelid primer. You can use any one that you want as long as it works for you. I do plan on getting a different eyelid primer just to see the difference. I've had this one for a little while now. I do like that it has a brush. Most primers don't. So yeah, I just use my ring finger. I rub it in. I use the ring finger because it's a less pressure point on your eye. You never want to kind of be rough on your eyes. It's very, very fragile. You want to always be gentle with it. So I just rub it in with my ring finger and boom. So I do my eyes first because it avoids the fallout, I call, on my face after I already applied foundation. So we're going to use the Naked Smoky palette here by Urban Decay. Alright, I'm just going to show you a basic kind of everyday look. Something that you could wear day and night, depending how you are, how you really like your makeup. So the good thing is, if you watched my other video about this, it has its own brush. It has all these different smoky colors here. So I'm going to start off with Whiskey. Whiskey is their kind of their brown here. And I just dust it off the brush a little bit. And I start using the crease part of the brush into my crease. And I move inward. So from out to in this motion. So you leave it like that and boom. That's all it is. People make makeup like it's so hard. It takes practice, but in the end you realize it's actually pretty easy. And it doesn't take much. It just takes a little bit of patience, actually a lot of patience. And don't worry if it's a little messy. You're going to be blending out and blending all your colors in, blending everything together. That way it gets as close to each other as possible. Because no eye is going to be perfect, no eyebrow is going to be exactly identical to the other side. I don't care how many times you do it. It's not precision, no matter what. You can get as close to perfect as possible. That's all I can tell you. The next color I'm going to use is Combust, which is right next to Whiskey. Just lightly, in here to kind of lighten up the darkness just a little bit. Not too much, but just enough to lighten it up just a tad. Once that's lightened up, I'm now going to add Dirty Sweet, sorry. The Dirty Sweet color, which is a shimmer. So I'm just going to dab the brush right in and add the shimmer here. Some people will tell you don't put shimmer all over the eyes. Some people say put shimmer everywhere. do what you feel looks nice on you and what you're comfortable with experimenting with. So I'm going to put it all over my eyelid and just leave the crease dark. So if you have to go back in, you go back in. You know, it's about being patient and just working with the colors, blending in, trying different things, adding more colors. You don't necessarily have to stick to the one palette that you buy. You know, a lot of people, they want to use the same palette for that specific look and not try something else. If another palette has the color that you want, go for it. You know, just go for it. So I'm just doing this really quickly and lightly. It's a quick tutorial. If you want to add a little lightness on the inside of your eye, you can. They have a shade called 13, which is right here. It looks a little white. You could add that in right here, right? And if you also want to add a little bit of the whiskey that you used underneath, you can do that too. I don't know why us females, we open our mouths when we do our makeup, but we do, and it just happens that way. So like I said, this avoids fallout, and I think I got a little dust in my eye there. Alright, so the next thing we're going to move on to is our eyeliner. You could do this last. I choose to do it right after I do my eyeshadow. I use the Kat Von D tattoo liner in Trooper Black. This is my favorite. It's been my favorite for years. It's a little easier for me to do this in my mirror, so hopefully you can still see what I'm doing. So I just draw a little line here, which sometimes if you leave the pen out a little longer than expected, it does dry out. So that's one thing you want to look out for. So I'll just bring my line here, start from the inside and work my way out to meet up with that line that I just initially drew. And I go in little lines when it comes to doing my eyes, because, I mean, if you're talented enough to do it in one straight line, kudos to you. I've been doing this for years and I still can't get one full swoop with this, so I just do as I can. So that is a wing line there. I do have to fill in a little bit more space. You can always make the line thicker, thinner, however you please. But that is my wing here. I'm never great. I'm practicing still, never great at getting both sides completely even, which is why when I do my pictures, it's always like the one eye, because always one eye gets better than the other. So I cover one. But obviously if you're doing photo shoots or anything like that, or working on a client, you never want to do that. You want to get as close to perfect as possible, even if it means you have to start over. So yeah, it's never going to be exact, but you just try your hardest to get there as possible, that's all. And one advice is always start your liner thin. Because starting thin is easier than starting thick and then trying to, you can't go from thick to thin, so it's always better to start your line thin, and if you feel like you need more, just add slightly more on whichever eye you need it for. Because yeah, it's just easier that way. So I always start as thin as possible, and then if I feel like one side needs more than the other, I then work on it from there. Sometimes your eyes get watery, it happens. If you feel like you water too much, just always buy waterproof mascara and eyeliner. That's all I can tell you. Alright, so right now, as you can see, they're not completely symmetrical to each other, but like I said, you get as close as possible when you work with each eye separately, because each eye is different in shape, even though they look as perfect as possible. So after my liner, I actually don't do my mascara. I move on straight to my concealers and my foundation. I do mascara actually last, kind of like lip gloss and highlighter. So because my face is a little red, I'm gonna use my e.l.f. corrective concealer. To even out redness, you would use green. So I'm just gonna add a little bit just to reduce the redness here. So I just use a little brush, get some green in there, and just add kind of like a little X here. You don't want it to pop through the foundation, so you just add just a little bit. Nothing too crazy. Wherever you see red. Alright, and then I'm going to use some under eye concealer. I know some people put concealer on after. You can, but I choose to do it before, because it's supposed to conceal your dark circles. So I just do little triangles here of concealer. It's not supposed to go, in my opinion, it's not supposed to go over foundation, although some people may disagree. But yeah, I do it before my foundation. And I'm just gonna quickly stipple this in. I gotta clean this beauty brush, this beauty blender a little bit. Because like I said, you want to even it out so it's not popping through the foundation. Alright, now for our foundation choice, I'm going to use the Rihanna Fenty Beauty. I am shade 260, soft matte, long wear. You know, it's really good. I love this foundation very, very much. So Rihanna did an amazing job creating this foundation. I just do a couple squirts here. I'm going to use a foundation brush. There's many ways on applying foundation. You do whichever pleases you. So with the brush, I just start, I go upwards, kind of like lifting the face up. I don't want to drag it down. make any wrinkles. We don't want that. So, I mean, I do a little bit here, but it's not as bad. So with Rihanna's foundation, I really feel like she's definitely, she's a medium to full coverage kind of foundation. I wouldn't say extremely full coverage, but she's definitely medium to full coverage. So I went down by accident. Sometimes there's just certain habits you can't help, but as you get better in creating a routine on how you do your makeup, the more natural certain things that weren't natural before become more natural to you now. So it's just a matter of working on it, that's all. So the foundation brush I'm using is actually a Mary Kay brush. I've been using this brush for years. I keep it clean. I love using this brush. It's a very, very good brush. In order to get any Mary Kay products, obviously you need a consultant, like an independent consultant to provide it to you. It's not something you get in store. So yeah, I used to be a consultant, so that's why I have it. They provide you with brushes and things like that. So I'm actually going to add just a little foundation right underneath the brow. Right, you know, try not to get the eyeshadow. So even though it's a brush, I somewhat still stipple my brush. Not completely, but I do stipple it a little bit. So what you have to be careful with certain brushes is that the bristles may start to fly off. If they start to fly off a lot, then that is not a good quality brush. You need to change it. Really good made brushes do not do that. So you can easily find a brush that doesn't do that, that is to your liking. So it doesn't hurt to keep searching. Just because it's high end and name brand does not necessarily mean that it is the best brush ever. It does not mean that at all. So I'm just going to add a little bit more foundation. If you're wearing a shirt like this that shows your neck or any cleavage at all, you want to get that there. Because you don't want your face to be one color and then your neck and everything else to be completely different. Alright, so that is the foundation process, the concealer process, and even corrective concealer process. For the corrective concealer part, the different colors are for different areas of the face so it's kind of, you think of the color wheel, whatever cancels each other out is what you'd be doing. So next I'm going to be doing is my brow. I'm going to be using the e.l.f. brow pencil. I do have a lot of e.l.f. products. I love their stuff, and for the price that they have it, you really can't go wrong. So this is going to be your best friend right here when it comes to doing your brows, is the spoolie. Alright, so this one's like a pencil. It's more like a crayon to me because it's like waxier. It's not like hard like a pencil. It's not a wood wick. So because it's plastic, it's more like a crayon. It works better for me. Never go a shade darker than your eyebrow, and never go the exact color. I always go a little bit lighter, possibly the exact match, but never go darker because it's gonna look funny when you actually do them. So I do the outline first, and you do little brushes because, you know, you have to go a line with your natural hairs. You never want to go not naturally to what your eyebrow is, because then it's not going to look natural, obviously. So here I lose, like if you look here, I don't have much hair there, so I have to create that little arch. If it's too much, you just wipe off a little bit. So I just go in little lines little by little. And then in between, you brush it to really see where you're at, see how even you are, see if you need any more in certain places. And you just go until you feel like it's ready. So with the brow, you want to end here where your wing is, and then have the other side end right where your pupil is, your tear duct, actually. And your arch is where, the mid, actually your pupil, where your mid is. So it's right here. 1, 2, and 3. So those are going to be your 3 points when creating a brow. So to me, that looks done. You can see the difference from here to there. Sorry if certain areas I'm quiet. I actually do try to focus when I do my makeup, so it's hard for me to actually speak and do it. And each eyebrow is different, so you just want to go according to that brow. You don't want to try to make it look completely even on both sides, because then it actually may not be even. So to me, this one needs just a little bit more here in this corner. And I think we are done there. So if you want to add like a little bit of like a highlighter to it or something, you can actually add concealer. You can add a shade of a light or shimmer eyeshadow. I'm going to do a shimmer eyeshadow. I'll use the same palette I used before, and I'm just going to use the shade High, which is a light shimmer. And what you do is you add that right where the arch is of your brow. So right at that arch, you add your shimmer or your matte, whichever you prefer, but it's usually a shade lighter. It's like usually a really, really light shade because it's supposed to highlight it. Okay? So for this, I'm not going to do a face contour. I'm going to keep it very basic. So eyeshadow, brows, foundation. If you want to do a contour, you would just add bronzer or a dark shade here. Not too dark, you don't want to look crazy. And then you would add it in like a certain shape, like a 3. And you would add a little highlighter here, highlighter there, and boom. So next off, I'm just going to do my mascara now. So I bought this. This is the Better Than Sex by Too Faced. This is their waterproof version. This is the mini size. This is not the full size bottle. I get minis on certain things because it just depends. Mascara gets dried out really fast, so I'd rather not buy the big ones all the time. But it's still a pretty decent size. It's not completely mini, but it's a smaller size than normal. So now I'm just going to add mascara here. And you would just brush it kind of like you brush your hair. And bring up to keep the curls. If you don't have curly lashes like me, you can use an eyelash curler. This is what an eyelash curler looks like. So after you're done applying the mascara, you would kind of clamp it. So you would put this in your oh my goodness, your eyelashes and clamp. You don't have to actually do that if you already have long lashes. I know, I'm opening my mouth again. It's kind of hard not to. Ooh, and you see what happened there? I got mascara dots. So you always have to be careful with that. Yeah, so if that happens, you can quickly wipe it off, like dab it with a makeup remover, or see, if I do little dabs, it lightens it, and then I can just add more foundation. You just add a little bit just to cover that spot up. And you don't want to smear, you want to dab, because if you smear, it's going to smear the color completely. So now that that's done, last but not least are your lips, and if you wanted to add highlighter, you can add highlighter. So I purchased the mini travel size. I don't know if you guys can see it because I feel like, there you go. The mini travel size of Fenty Beauty's lip and face set. So it has Kilowatts highlighter and the Gloss Bomb Universal Lip Luminizer. So I love the Fenty Beauty line, I really do. I want to buy every single thing, but my pockets are telling me no. So, comes like this. And then this would be the last thing to add, and that is it. Oh, actually there's one more thing. Basket case. I have the Kat Von D basket case eyeliner. She teamed up with, oh my goodness, what the hell is his name? I'm forgetting. Billy Joel. Billy Joe from the Green Day band. Oh my goodness. I love Green Day, and I cannot believe I stuttered on that. Which I thought was really, really awesome. So they came out with their own eyeliner together. Because as you know, he wears eyeliner like hell. So, so this is what it looks like. It's a very, very thick eyeliner, but it's meant for like smudging basically. So it still has a point. You would twist it up and down as you need it. So this one has a point for precision, but obviously the more you use it, you would definitely have to sharpen it, or you know, you can use it dull, but then you would have to just use it as like a either eyeshadow or just a smudger. So I'm just going to bring this down a little bit and get my waterline here. This is my first time using this. Since I just bought it, I was really excited because I love Green Day. I love Kat Von D, and I was like, it's a must-have on my list, if that is the case. And that is Basket Case. You can obviously see it popped my eye out a lot more. You could always use white eyeliner at the bottom if that's what you feel, to make your eyes look bigger. But this is definitely an intense deep black that works really, really nicely. It's definitely precise, it's comfortable. Hopefully it lasts long. I guess I'll find out later. And now we're back to our Fenty Beauty highlighter here. So I'm not going to add a lot. I'm not too big on, I mean, I love highlighters, I do. But I don't want to add too much because I don't have a contour on right now. So I'm just going to do the same thing, stipple it off, and so you get a little shimmer there. I don't know if you can tell here, but there's that shimmer. So you add as little or as much as you want. I don't mind the travel size because it would be nice to just stick it in a little purse and, you know, have it ready to go. And now your lips. So this is her Gloss Bomb lip gloss, and this is supposed to be universal, which so far it is. I've seen plenty of pictures with many different women's skin tones with it. So because it's a mini size, obviously you see the lip applicator is like the size of the cap. And we're just going to apply some gloss. If you want to add an actual lip color underneath, you're more than welcome to. I just have it on as a gloss. It is definitely a thick gloss. You feel it, you do. But it looks great. It's definitely glossy. And it smells great. So just letting you know, like as soon as I put it on, I'm thinking in my head like, damn, it smells good. So that is it for my full face tutorial. I did go over a little bit of the 30 minutes than I expected. I want to do it shorter for you guys, but hopefully you guys got a full face and you guys took some notes, learned some things, and hopefully with what you learned, you were able to create something that really looks awesome and professional even though you're a beginner. So if you learned anything and you tried any of these techniques at home, comment a picture below. I would love to see if you learned anything. If not, cool. If you already knew these things, awesome. If you have any input on what I said, feel free to put your input. If not, just like, subscribe, definitely share. Let's get those numbers up. So the link would be below. What link? What am I talking about? I'm going crazy, guys. There's no link. Just click on my channel, click subscribe, click like on the video, comment below if you have any questions, and boom. That's it. That's all I gotta say for you guys. So I'm gonna quickly do another video for you. So if you're watching this video first, go check it out. If you're watching this video second, hopefully you saw the first one and you like this one as well. So the next one is going to be my Ipsy bag for January 2018, my first Ipsy bag of the year. Alright, so talk to you guys soon and hopefully to see you sometime next week. Bye guys.